I want your decision right now. If you're the Bears, say for some God reason, I know this isn't happening, but who are you picking? Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, or Roma Dunze? Like, rank those three guys for me. I have my order in mind, but I really want to know because it's probably one of the hottest topics as far as the receivers goes. You hear talk about Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
but
they're
what is your
right yeah, so I mean, look, I've heard like Daniel Jeremiah say this and some other big names. It's like people are kind of like over analysis paralysis with Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. Like they did it with Caleb for a minute, right? And you're starting to see it where it's like, okay, we've known this is the number one guy for almost 2 years. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is in that same boat. They were talking about him not just this past year, but the year before. Like, watch out till this guy hits the draft. Like he's been that good for this long. So for me to go against that, I feel like is kind of absurd from my standpoint. So I would have to probably go like Marvin Harrison Jr. 1, just because that's kind of been the consensus for a long time. Now with Malik and Rome, it's a little bit different because I think it's like pick your flavor, right? You want more of that shifty, short to intermediate type, you got to go Malik. Like Malik is going to get you that. He's quicker, he's shiftier. Like he is more of that Jamar Chase type, right? If you want someone who's a bigger body, deep ball, contested catch, right? Not saying he's not shifty, but like in comparison to Malik Neighbors, you got to go Roma Dunze. He's just that guy. He was the number one in contested catches, had like the highest percentage in like the past 4 years of wide receivers and the percent of contested catches he caught. And he was one of the biggest in deep routes. I think his number one percentage route ran at 21% was the go route, the 9 route. So this man goes deep all the time. And I think his second was the post route, right? Which is, those are obviously like 15 to 20 yard routes plus. So it depends on what you want. It's almost like comparing DJ Moore in his prime, which would be about now, to Keenan Allen in his prime, right? Or just their careers. Keenan Allen, bigger type of wide receiver. He sits more in zones, but like back in the day when he was a little bit faster, like he was definitely a deep route, big ball type guy. You think of like a Mike Williams as well. DJ Moore is more of, no pun intended, but he does do deep routes too. Don't get me wrong. We saw tons of deep plays, but he's more of like, he'll do a slant across the middle, take that 25 yards, the Yak King over there. So would you look at that and go, oh, they both, DJ Moore is so much better than Keenan Allen? I don't know if that's the case. It's more of like, what do you need for your team? So if we look at our roster and how it's constructed, right? Keenan Allen is here, but he is 32. There is no deal that's been done. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but there is not a deal that is done. So if you want to draft someone, DJ Moore is only 26. So if I want to get someone to pair well with DJ Moore, I'm more likely going to draft some Keenan Allen's replacement than drafting someone who's going to be a replacement to DJ Moore, right? So in that case, my choice would be Roma Dunze, but I can totally understand why someone would say, I want Malik Neighbors instead. They both could be great. You know what I mean? And it's just, what was Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, same draft? No, they weren't. They were two different ones. But you could hit on them both. All three could be great too. We don't know. So it's kind of like that flavor.
I like that comment here. I think it's by Imperial Gaming on YouTube. He goes, Roma Dunze at 9 would be a gift. It is. Like, it really would be. Like, any of these receivers, but I think Odunze, what you said is perfect. No better person to, help a guy kind of mature in the league, kind of grow as a player, learn the ins and outs, and probably develop a lot quicker than Keenan Allen what he would be able to do for Roma Dunze. So for me, it's honestly, I'm only looking at it through like a Bears lens, but it has to go Marvin Harrison Jr.
No,
obviously, for some odd God reason you have a chance at him. But then it goes to Roma Dunze, and then it goes Malik Neighbors. And I've heard rumors, and this, when I first heard it, I was like, is this a smokescreen? Like, there was rumors about the Bears really like Malik Neighbors, and I bet they do. But it's
I'm sure they do.
Do they really think he's going to be available at 9? No,
I don't.
There's no fucking way. There's no way he's getting to 9, in my opinion. But it's like, are the Bears just trying to, send something out? Like, as far as, we want to Odunze, let's just not talk about him. Obviously, he's coming for his 30 visit, but that's just nuance. That's what's going to happen. You'd be crazy if you weren't. But it's like, I think Odunze, for my opinion, if they had, I know Matt Eberflus wants an edge. Again, that could be a smokescreen as far as trying to get an offensive player, because right now the most important thing is Caleb Williams and his development. So as far as what they're going to do, it has to be offensive side of the ball. I understand the defense would be complete. It would be disgusting if they got Dallas Turner or something like that along those lines as far as another impact player on that side of the ball. But it's like, if you go and get Odunze, you get Malik Neighbors, you get an offensive guy that can really just be another playmaker, because then you could talk about what the Texans are doing with the trade for Stephon Diggs. Right now they have Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and then Nico Collins.
Oh, don't forget about the running back.
Well, I'm talking about the receivers, the trio. Joe Mixon. Yeah, Joe Mixon over there.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, for a receiving trio, that's tough, man. That is insane. You look at the Bears right now. They have Keenan Allen. They have DJ Moore. You got Tyler Scott. A little bit of a drop-off. Tyler's our guy. But then say you add in another significant pass catcher, like one of the two receivers we talked about, Nabers or Odunze. Then you're talking about perhaps if Odunze can really kind of adjust quickly to the league, which I think he's a plug-and-play type player. Especially if you take him at 9, you kind of want him to be. Look at Darnell Wright. You look at these guys. You take that early. You want them to be impact day 1 starters. So for me, I would love to see DJ Keenan and Rome as a trio, because then you have, like you talked about, Vicky, you have a mix of, sure, Keenan Allen is 32 at the start of the season, but look at Stephon Diggs. He's 31 at the start of the season.
Also, Devontae's 32 and he still balls out.
But how Keenan plays too, it's like his route running, the way he doesn't, it's not about speed with him. It's not about those traits that kind of go away with age. This guy's a technician. He's going to get the ball. He's not going to do what DJ Moore is going to do as far as yak, right? But he's going to get you 9 catches a game sometimes, and he's just going to be hard to guard. It's going to be really difficult. And for Rome,
big plays too. On big plays too, like third down, he's going to be huge.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Imagine that, you're first in goal, right? And you have to look for Caleb and his legs, because that was the big thing with Justin, right? Then you have Roma Dunze, potentially. You have Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, if you want to throw out 2 tight ends. And then guess what? You got DJ Moore. You got to worry about him, see how quick he is and how he changes speed and direction so quickly. He's shifty. Yep. The weapons on top of that, sure, you have to have time to throw the ball, but I think the Bears' offensive line, if they stay healthy and the additions they had, now having an actual center, and perhaps maybe even moving up with some capital from 2025 to maybe get into the 3rd, 4th round or something along those lines, or making a trade for somebody. So for me, I think the weapons and these receivers that might be available for Ryan Poles and company, I think you just have to make it happen, especially for Caleb.
Yeah, I think what's great about having 9 is that it's in such a good position to get a premium player at almost. You can get the number 2 tackle, because I still think Titans are going to take Joe Alt. It just makes sense. Every mock has it. So, but you can get the number 2 tackle in the draft, right? You can easily get 2 or 3, right? Because Malik could fall to there, very possible. You could easily get the number 1 interior defensive lineman, whether that's Byron Murphy or the guy from Illinois. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. You could easily get one of the top 2 defensive ends as well.
And the Bears really like Byron Murphy from reports.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like at 9, you are still in the mix because of how heavy the quarterback draft is. Even if only 2 go, which I think it'll be 3, 4, who knows? But I think at least 2 go. I mean, at least 3 go. That means 6 premium positions left that you get, and there's easily a good 10 to 11. So someone is going to fall there where you're going to walk away with the 1st or 2nd best person in the draft. So that's why I feel like they're in a very, very favorable position. I don't think they're going to trade back, but they could also do that and still get their guy.